All right, just reloaded the stream. Sorry about that. I don't know what the heck happened. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So, check it out. We've got a divergence here, uh, multiple. We have the NYSE tick, the Nasdaq tick, trades delta, and our volume delta all diverging from price. Price is making higher highs, and especially the ticks. The ticks are now. Having said that, they are at their zero. Basically, they're at their neutral level. Yeah, exactly. Good. So ticks are still positive, right? But I would be personally concerned about trying to go long from here. Not saying that price can do whatever it wants, the order book. I mean, with the yeah, you guys have to understand too that the volume delta and the trades delta, they are derived from the time and sales. All right, the time and sales data. So it's as accurate as we can get, right? Determining market aggression. But what we're not seeing clearly is those limit orders and icebergs and then be refreshed, right? I'm not a DOM trader. I know that there's ways to see that kind of stuff on the DOM. I just personally, again, I don't feel the need for it because I focus so much really on, I really like my big thing is just trade location. As long as you've got good risk to reward, um, the rest kind of takes care of itself. But maybe some of you DOM experts can articulate it. But basically, you know, we've got this divergence here. So this could be, you know, could be the top. It didn't quite get to, oh, we're in that volume node. And there's a previous day's VWAP. Okay, so now starting to get a little bit of context here. So this pink line, remember I changed the color to pink, so it's going to be kind of purple, but that's exactly what we're hitting. So we're hitting a previous day's VWAP from, looks like it's the day after Christmas. Day after Christmas. So this is an area where, again, you'd expect there to be some selling. We broke into this. I forgot that I had marked out that high volume node. Let me mark it this way. Let me erase these. Hey, let me do an extending rectangle. I forget what the hotkey is. I don't have it set. Can I? Yikes, that's ugly. Let me change that for you guys. Why do I not have a supply zone? We'll just mark it like that for now. HVN. So we're bumping our heads up against that. And there's confluence of it hitting this previous day's VWAP, which is basically center mass of that. So this is an area where you'd expect there to be some selling. Does it mean that we're going to fall and sweep the overnight low and do all of that? No, it doesn't mean that. It's just saying, hey, they're selling on the equity side, right? We see that here because it's making lower lows, right? Both of them are making lower lows, so they're in unison with each other. And we have a divergence in the order flow. So I would expect at a minimum price to stall, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we need to short it. Again, if you're, I mean, we can. We'll just go with 1 micro. We'll see what happens. If you, again, if you need trades or you're trying to get an account funded or whatever, then yeah, you may have to take some counter trend trades like this. But you have to understand again that it's against the trend. So, you know, you got to play it smart. Don't force it. And then I would look to, personally, I'm waiting for, you know, us to get back down to delta neutral to reinitiate a new long. But let's see if this goes someplace here, just based on these divergences that we're seeing. Oh, dude, news at 10, huh? Forgot all about that. Shows you how much I'm paying attention over here. It's because everything crashed on me, and so I forgot about the news event. Also, well, look at there. Also, something to, you know, to consider is that we're seeing that divergence form before the news event hit. I mean, I think you guys would all agree that there's definitely a level of insider trading. So that short worked out, right? At least for now. But again, does it mean that it's going to, you know, go all the way back down into these VWAPs and stuff like that? No, I don't. I try not to get into the longer range prediction game, right? I do have some swing trades that I take in crypto and stocks and things like that, but I really just base those on the VWAPs, like the stuff that I showed you guys yesterday on stream, right? So let's see what this does. I like it that, and maybe I need to put some linear regression channels on here. Sometimes I do that instead of drawing these manually. But you can see that, you know, the Nasdaq is making a new low, right? The Nasdaq tick is making a new low. If you're short, that's a good thing, right? It's a good thing. So we picked up a short there, had some confluence with previous days VWAP from back in December along with the high volume node. And we had these confluences with the divergences. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Be nice if the tick pushes down to like negative 1K. Like it that the ES is making a new low now. Or ES again. I'm sorry, ES. The nicey tick's making a new low. But we've got some confliction here in that our ticks are negative, but our deltas, our session deltas are still positive. So again, this is not the kind of trade where, you know, if this comes all the way back up against me, I'm not going to sit here and fight this and continue to try to short it. There is a, you guys can see that we've got a high volume node slash, you know, edge of a low volume node right here. So I would say that, you know, we don't want to see price getting back above our entry. Yeah, that's a good call, Dave. That's how I play it too, right? Like I'm not going to get married to this trade, but I think trying it. See, that's the thing. That's where people get into trouble. Is that, you know, price is going directional one direction. We can all see that's at least in the for the time being, right? It's in an uptrend. And yeah, you're getting some divergences in your order flow, but it doesn't mean that it's going to again sweep overnight lows or just there's one thing that I can tell you guys, especially when it comes to the prop firms, is take what you can get. So lock in some profits, let your trades kind of develop. Now, I'm not going to get out of this unless it really breaks that high, the swing high. I like it that the ticks made new lows. So we'll just see what happens with it. We're up $2,058 right now on day. So I hope that you guys can see the divergence though. Sometimes it takes people a while to pick them up. I will be surprised if I'll be very surprised if it breaks this high. Just given, or at least in the interim, given the strength that the Nasdaq pushed down and the ES made new lows as well, and the order flow is, you know, angled down. The only thing that has me a little, I don't know, I'm not saying sketched out about it or anything, but it's just that again our deltas are positive on the session. So we'll see what it does here. So it's back to our entry. It's okay. ticks up back to neutral. It happened at 2K on the session. Let's see if they defend it. No other news that's applicable to us right now. If we get like a delta flip right here, meaning that both of these guys cross RTH neutral, then I'd probably add. We'll see. I'm feeling pretty good about today so far. So yeah, this is a counter trend trade, but let's just see what they do with it. Could be the top. I don't know. Also, too, I don't get bent around the axle. Like we were in profit like $80 or $90, and now we're back to basically our entry. Like, yeah, I could have taken profit, or but it was just one micro kind of a starter position. So I'm not been out of shape that this thing is, back in my face. I'll probably stay on till 10:30 today. I've got some errands that I need to run, even though I'm not feeling that great right now, but carry on here. So we're kind of hitting this high volume area as well. So let's see what price does here while these ticks are pushing back down. Um, you know, is its back gonna break or what? It's so fascinating because sometimes the tick will just drag price around with with like reckless abandon. And then other times the order flow seems to be pulling it stronger. So it's just fascinating to me. You're welcome. I'm glad that you feel that way, Dave. Sometimes I tend to ramble. I just get excited about this stuff. I think it's super cool, you know, doing this for work, for business rather. Consider it work. So it's also too late for like you're stuck, right? Like we may be too early on a short, but I'm certainly, for my liking at least, way too late for a long. So I won't be reinitiating anything new. Uh, we did get a pullback, but I was kind of hoping that we would, we pull back to here, but I was kind of hoping that we would get a pullback deeper down in the pocket, and that these two guys would slam back into neutral, and it may still do that. It may still do that, but I'm also not really like loading up on the short. Maybe I should be. I'm short right now, yes. Just one micro, Charles, because the ticks, you can see the angle of the ticks. Ticks making new lows, breaking below neutral, and then also we have the divergence between like the market aggressors are the CVD and the trades delta diverging from price. And it's happening at a previous day's VWAP from around Christmas time. So I am short one micro. It looks to me like you guys can see the yellow annotations on the chart. So the only thing that's got me less not having a ton of conviction about it is again just that our deltas have been positive out of the gate. But maybe it'll really drop from here. So Nasdaq tick making a new low, hitting 1K, negative 1K. Uh, Kind of wanting to maybe add a little bit. Let's do that. Let's add a little bit. I'm just gonna go with half of a full size contract, and then in my mind, like if price breaks above this little micro swing right here, then I'm out. I'm gonna get out. I've had a great day. Don't want to blow it up trying to chase a short. Um, let's see what happens. This is going to be kind of a critical moment right here, whether or not our order book bounces here at neutral or if it just sells off. So I added 4 micros right there. And in my mind, I've got to stop basically yellow circle. I don't want to see it start making new highs. Uh, we'll see. That really is kind of just a gut uh, feeling here based on the Nasdaq tick tapping this. If you guys watch YouTube videos about how to trade the ticks, they're going to tell you to buy a negative 1,000 tick. And yeah, there's times that works, but I look at it as there is a lot of selling on the equity side. And so again, I'm always trying to put myself in alignment with the overall market momentum. So if they're selling on the equity side, like again, real heavy like this, and my deltas are angling down, I want to be in alignment with that momentum. I don't want to be fighting against it. So that's kind of why I chose to short it right there. And our trades delta is now negative for RTH. And for our session, they're coming back down towards session neutral, but they're not there. They're not there yet. So I can't really tell how much I'm up right now on this trade. Let me look. So we're up 250 bucks on 5 micros. Sized in on the push down on 1K tick. And I really want to see ES break. So this is a big area right here on the ES tick chart, or I keep calling it ES. You guys know what I mean. IC tick chart. See if we can get some follow through here. I'm gonna label these charts. I'm gonna work on the labeling so that way you guys can see it. But I'm not gonna work on it right now when I'm in an active trade. But I want to label this chart so you guys know that this is RTH order flow. This is session, the right one. I call that the tactical chart. And then we've got the Nasdaq tick on top, an IC tick on the bottom, and then this is our strategic chart over there. So tick push down, pretty good. Really need the ES to make a new low on its tick though for this thing to continue, I think. I don't know if you guys ever play around with like keto or carnivore, but I'm transitioning back into it after the holidays. That could be part of the reason too, like why I don't I'm feeling kind of crappy today. I haven't had carbs in like 4 days, so I like to do low carb stuff and play around with fasting and things like that. So man, I wish the nice heat would break. If it breaks, then I feel good about this. So volume delta is positive, but trades delta is negative. I'm watching to see if the trades delta makes a new low right here on the middle chart. We could get a bit of a pull back, so to speak, up into here with the Nasdaq tick. This is where I need more monitors because I would be watching. Somebody asked me yesterday about weighted tick, and these ticks are not currently weighted, but it'd be nice to see one to weight them, but two also to be just monitoring the heavy hitters in the NYSE. Same thing with Nasdaq, right? I don't have the screen space for that right now. Okay, so it's coming against us a little bit. Not panicking, not a big deal. Let's see if they, let's see how committed they are to taking this thing lower. Crude oil inventories at 10:30. Don't think that's going to affect us much. Huh, that's pretty neat, Dave. Did you have just water while you're in India, or a combination of like water and fruit juice and coffee or tea? I think my longest fast has been 7 days. And I did water, coffee, tea, and some broth. Whenever I fast like that, I have these moments where it's like you just have a tremendous amount of clarity all of a sudden, and it feels amazing. All that brain fog is gone. All right, so we're watching price here to see what it does. We didn't get the drop that we wanted to out of the NYSE tick, but the Nasdaq is hitting. NYSE tick has still spent most of its time negative, though. Remember what I was telling you guys yesterday is that we've spent most of our time since the session open in the negative. So, and the same thing with the Nasdaq tick, right? So since the open, there's been more selling on the equity side than there has been buying. Remember that we're watching the process of accumulation and distribution take place right before our eyes. So it takes a while for it to unfold sometimes. And you just got to be patient. And again, that's why I like trading, you know, I like trading the micros. Just you can let these trades breathe without stressing out about it. If if you were trading full size minis, you'd be getting jerked around, and it would suck. We're kind of chopping a little bit here, but again, it's expected when there's a transition between buyers and sellers. It's not always immediate. Yeah, for sure. Where are you from originally, Dave? So you're looking like it might want to pop here. If it does, we'll just take the L. And that's okay. Oh, okay. I haven't spent a lot of time there. I've driven through there a few times, but I haven't really hung out. So I'm gonna give it just a minute here. But not too long. Like I said, I don't want to just looking to see as the Nasdaq is kind of retesting this neutral area. If the ES kind of breaks this, right, then I'll feel a lot better about it. This little trend line here. So I know I basically I was telling you that this red line on the tactical chart was going to be my stop. And that is true, but I want to make sure that it really breaks it. And because we had such a strong downtrend in the tick and the order flow that now what does it mean if the divergences don't hold? Well, what it means is that there is a ton of limit order buying, and this thing's going to continue going much higher, I think. Anytime price is moving and it's on its own without regard to what the order flow is telling you and what the tick is telling you, that's just a really strong indication that there's just a ton of limit order buying. It's neat. My brother is down near my half brother. We're not close at all, but he is. I think he's down in Largo somewhere. A lot of times when the tick makes this hard push down like this, you'll get some follow through. It'll push down, make another push down. I've seen it down, negative 14, negative 1500. But then also the thing is too, is that sometimes, occasionally, you'll get a push down and then just an absolute rebound right back up. I'm hoping that that's not the case and that they actually, that there is some follow through selling on the equity side. I like it that the NIC tick did kind of break that a little bit, but still not super convinced that they really want to sell it off. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't like it that these guys are. It's looking like it wants to hold. I'm being honest with you guys. So I'm gonna exit this. I'm gonna take an L on that. That stinks, guys, because again, we just had really strong divergence on that. And I'm not gonna say that it felt like a sure thing, but pretty close. Would I reinitiate a long here? Mm, again, if I really needed to get a trade in, yeah, sure, you could do that, but um, I'm not going to right now. Yeah, it's weird. Again, like you can study all. I mean, the thing that had me kind of hung up on it again. Now watch, it'll sell off now. The thing that kind of had me hung up is again just that we're we're delta positive on RTH, and even though the Nasdaq tick and the NYSE tick were selling off, we just didn't get a strong reaction from price. So that's telling you something, right? We had two pushes down there and it didn't go to session VWAP. So maybe it'll do it now. So here is an important level that we're touching right now, which is, oops, come on. Which is this RTH high, which is here in the middle chart. So we're getting right up to that. That's our CVD high. So that's basically the point where the aggression stopped. And you can see that there's a divergence. There is a divergence. And again, I don't mean to ramble on about divergences, but you can see where our trades delta is nowhere near its RTH high. So there's some sell trades that are firing off. And tick is not super duper positive yet. That's why I think getting a read of that initial momentum out of the gate is so important. Which we did. We were long, and we added into our long. But when we tried to short it and go counter trend, we got a little bit of traction, but I didn't really have enough size on to try it, and we ended up taking it was about a $250 loss. We're down to $1,721 on the day, and we're currently flat. So let's just observe and see if we get any other opportunities here. There is a swing high from Christmas at 937. So I'm going to clean up some of these charts because we got a bunch of artwork on here. You guys don't really want to see my art, but I'll leave the divergences up there. And I guess I'll just be marking them in red because it's a bearish divergence. So I've covered the different types of divergences in the past, and this particular type where our price is higher and our deltas are lower, that is considered an exhaustion divergence. Sometimes they play out really nice, but generally speaking, you want to see an absorption divergence. And that is when, if you're trying to short, you want to see your price sloping down and your delta sloping up. And that's, we had the opposite of that, right? We had price going up here and our order book pointing down. So that's telling you that the limit orders are lifting price up through it. The reason that the reason why I liked that short was because of what the tick was doing. But the ES or the NYSE, I'm just going to call it the S&P, whatever. You guys know what it is. It did not, it just didn't break down. Just didn't break down. So we didn't get that follow through. And that's all right. So we're hitting the top of that high volume node from the strategic chart. Kind of want to try it again. Let's do it with 1 micro. What? That was weird. See, now they're going to follow through, maybe. Let me clean some of this up. Somebody kicked the hornet's nest and now they're mad. So trades delta is hitting RTH low. Let's see if we get some actual follow through here. I shorted it, but I hit the button up here. Talk about some slippage. And initially the position, I'm going to have to go back and watch the replay on that. Initially the position indication was right here, but then the position slipped down. Again, this is an Apex account, an Apex data feed. So good luck. All right, we'll take one more stab at this and then I'll probably have to go. Good day though. Happy with the results. Don't beat yourself up, guys, when it comes to, little like micro and it's not manipulation. It's just that these guys have got massive positions, and when the algorithm when their algorithm says sell, it sells and it moves the book. So price can get a little jumpy, especially after news events or leading up to news events, because the institutions they pull the liquidity, right? They pull those arresting orders off the book. And so when you get aggressive buying or selling, price can get erratic because there's just not a lot of liquidity, right, to support it. Liquidity being those limit orders that are resting there. So you can see how the tick is getting kind of really wound up and kind of starts to get constricted here. And see what they do with it. We still have this nice divergence between the volume delta and the trades delta. So these selling trades are coming in and they're currently negative on RTH. Not by a lot, but that's really why I tried to re-short it up here. But again, this tick is crazy. That's unusual. So put a push pin in that. It's unusual for it to go from negative 1,000 to positive, basically positive 700. That's unusual tick activity. But there's a lot of different reasons. We are in some tumultuous times. I think you guys would agree with everything that's going on, like global events and politically. If um, if this trades delta starts to break down from here, I might add. But again, I just gotta see what it does. I'm gonna erase these other trend lines here on this. So we want to see the tick, ES tick at least, start to make new lows. And we're kind of just banking on this divergence between these guys, right? Do these sellers, like, how committed are they? We won't know until, like, again, this could hold, it might break. They had me sold on this down move, though. They had me sold on it with the divergence. Just didn't work out. There's no holy grail of trade, fellas. So you're just trying to put yourself on the right side of probabilities. Usually my win rate, and again, I don't concern myself with it, but I do, I'm aware of it, is like 65 to sometimes 85%. Some days are easier than others. I mean, if you guys look at it, yeah, we're in an uptrend, but it's a little bit of a mess right now. We got this push higher, but then just didn't really follow through. Then we had that strange candle. Again, just kind of happened randomly. I guess I should have like Trump's tweet feed up. I see the ES wanting to maybe break lower here. Yeah, I guess I feel like I should maybe have his tweet feed up because he might be. You never know. if we break the RTH high, then I'm just going to call it. I don't want to sit here and fight against it and start losing my gains. One simple rule that you guys can do is I call it the 70% rule because that's what it is. So if you make, let's say you make $1,000, you're not going to let yourself lose more than 70% of those wins. So you're not going to let yourself, if you're up 1,000, you're not going to let yourself drop below $700, right? Again, I eyeball it before every trade. I'm asking myself, do I have room on my 70% rule for this trade? Okay. Thanks, Ben. Um, okay, that's a good question. If this breaks this, then I'm just going to get out because I could probably sustain another 200. Let's see. Look here real quick. I was at one point up. Let's just call it 2,000 times 0.7. So $1,400 is my 70% for the day based on my high. All right, I'm gonna get out. So I close that. A bad day for me. Okay, so I protect my accounts from myself by using daily loss limits. And I set those within RTrader. So for this 300K account, because it has a $7,500 drawdown, I don't want to lose more than $750 per day. On the funded accounts, I have those set based on just, again, whatever the account balance is. However, something that you guys should be aware of is that with Apex, so let's say that you get a payout. Let's just use this 300K account for example. If we get a payout of $3,500, which is the max payout for the account, starting off, if you get that payout and then it resets the like 8-day window that they have. So once that window resets, then your maximum allowable, maximum negative incursion, they call it MAE, is based on your total account size. However, all the other things like your consistency rule and your it's all based on the profit that you earn during that 8-day payout window. So you've got to be careful because what can happen is, and this happened with me for a long time, I ran up some 50K accounts to like 52,000 in profit, and I did that over a like 6-week period, and so I had multiple 50K accounts, each of them with 52K in profit, and it took me probably about 4 or 5 weeks to be able to unlock the payouts because what was happening is that I was making too much money on the accounts, right? So why do I say all that? I say all that because the best thing that you can do is once you get your eval funded, you want to set a daily loss limit based on the drawdown of that account. So yes, this is, they brand it and market it as a 300K account, but it's not a 300K account. It's basically a $7,500 account. So that's our daily loss limit, but you need to set your daily profit target as well. And I just eyeball it. You can set it in our trader as well. So let's go ahead and calculate it for our first payout. So for the 300K account, I have to hit $7,600 to be eligible for a payout. And then on top of that, I need to add the $3,500. I know that you guys can't see it, but I'm using a calculator on mine. I need to add the $3,500 that I want to withdraw. So that brings me to $11,100. So I have an 8-day payout window once that account is funded. So I divide the $11,100 by 8, and that gives me $1,387.50. So we need to keep that number in mind because we don't want to go too far above that because you'll run into, again, the 30% consistency rule where you make too much money. And so we gotta be careful of that. All right. I hope that makes sense. So that's what I do. When you ask me what is a bad day for me, a bad day for me is when I hit my daily loss limit. And that's again based on the account size. So I, you know, I might fudge it a little bit because it's an eval and I'm wanting to pass it, but I don't want to be drawing the account down too much, right? I hope that answered your question, Charles. So once we get, so the first payout's the hardest one to get because you got to get, to be able to get it in 8 days, we really need to nail basically $1,400 per day. Um, After that, then it's just $3,500 divided by 8. So that's basically $437. That's a lot easier to get per day when you're trading micros. If this, I probably need to go, if I'm being honest, because it's almost 11 o'clock my time. But if this trades delta starts to break its lows, then I would probably reinitiate another short. I'm looking at this hourly chart, and we've got another high above us. Let me move this to a 4 hour, so 240 minutes. Okay, so that's the 4 hour chart right there. Gosh, it's still a bit of a mess. But we've got the high that's right above us, and then the ones up at, around 123. Yeah, of course, Charles. My pleasure. I think I'm done too. I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm watching this order flow, and I'm kind of like, oh man, it looks like it's kind of wanting to sell finally. But at the same time, like, guys, just because the order flow is changing, um, doesn't mean that price is necessarily going to absolutely start breaking down. We saw that. I thought we had two good divergences, um, and matching tick divergences as well. But they continued to buy it up with aggressive limit orders. So, yep. All right, Dave. God bless you guys. I'm gonna take a quick look at the news and see what's going on tomorrow. and kind of give you guys a timeline. But I plan on being on in the morning. So unemployment at 8:30. So I might come on at 8:30, 8:30, 9 o'clock. But again, appreciate you guys. I'm going to take off too. We're finishing the day. Let's see, account balances. $1,640. So altogether, we're at about 4,500 bucks. I think by the end of next week, we should be able to be pretty close to being funded on this little experiment that we're doing. So again, appreciate you guys being here today. Hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon. I'm gonna go spend some time with my wife and kids, and God bless you guys. I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.